Hello, hello. I'm actually 1 minute before the set time. Just wanted to make sure that I was not late. Okay, the drawback to live streaming on YouTube is that I cannot see who's joining. So I can only see that there is one person already. So if you could please, as we do it, if you could please let me know if you can see me more, if you can hear me well. So just drop me a message. I can see here in the comments. It's so exciting because it's the first live that I'm doing here on YouTube. Let me know whoever joined already. Let me know how you are. If you came here accidentally, maybe it wasn't an accident. I believe everything is happening for a reason. Yes, 31. So let's wait a moment for the people to come over. Yes, like I told you, I have no idea who's here. So all those people who were joining the previous live streams on Instagram or Facebook, I don't even chance to say personalized hello because I simply cannot see who joined. Velfish. Oh, Pachunia. Hello, sunshine. I don't have to tell you how amazing that is, and I have goosebumps because we're creating such big things here. Wow, you can't lie. I'm gonna show you. Impossible. Plus, I'm a Scorpio, so I have very good connection with my body and intuition. Amazing. Maja, how are you? Let me know. We're gonna wait a moment for other people to come over. How are you in general? Physically, mentally? I can go first. I can tell you that for me it's a very challenging time. Physically, especially. For example, today I think I have fever, pretty good, although low energy today. It's quite natural that we're gonna, in general, in December, this is the month where we can feel low when it comes to the energy. So there are people who I know who never took naps during the day, but now they need to. I think I broke my record. Last week I had 2 naps in one day. Yes, that was crazy. But we need to listen to the body. So that's going to be one of the things that we'll say today, which we can start a little. I don't know who else is going to join. There are some people who told me that they cannot watch, they cannot be here at this time. So they will watch it later on in their own time. But also there were a few people who told me that they're getting the wine and pistachios ready. So, and I can see only 2 people online. So let's say another minute, right? When I was teaching at academia, it was this 15 minutes was something natural, acceptable for people. So I'm going to have a sip of coffee. And I'm going to be sweating today because, first of all, it's the lamp that I have directed on my face. Um, it just shows better on live. Kwadrat studentski, exacto. Before we start, I had this when I was teaching communication back in London. I had this very naughty group, we can say. None of the teachers were able to cope with this group. And one of the things that I introduced, I was never shouting, it's not my style. And they really needed to feel the sort of, we had to build our relations. So what I was doing, this one guy came over, and you can imagine East London, people, teenagers, people 16 and above, who are completely not used to any kind of rules in the classroom. And I asked one person who just came in. I couldn't believe he came in. He sat down. I can't even remember if he said hi, but I asked him to leave and to knock on the door and ask me if he's going to be admitted to the classroom. That worked. That worked amazing, actually, because without raising my voice, this group, I stick to this group for a long time, or we stick to each other. And it turned out to be very successful. So the teacher didn't have to be changed. But this is how it works. Respect is something that works both ways. But it's not about that. Let me just quickly. Hola, Kira. Hola, amor. Hola, sunshine. I am so happy, we have such strong people here. Mis brujas. Okay, let me just blow my nose because, yes, like I told you, I had to put some nose drops to be able to breathe and talk, because when I talk, this is when I get congested nose. Vale. So I'm gonna trim this part, and now it's already almost 8 minutes, so let's start, okay? So hello. Hi, everybody. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Sylvia, and I like to call myself a creative coach. Creative because apart from the standard coaching techniques, I cannot help but use different approaches that are there, that the science introduces. And so one of my characteristics is that I'm curious. So this is for the introduction. Today's topic of this meeting are the limitations. Before we proceed on to how we can identify them, and to tell you this at the beginning, many of us, most of us have some limitations. I hardly know anybody who, and I'm really talking about big names here too, who are free from any programs. So this is something that we have, okay? And we can be mad at this, but we can say, no pasa nada, this is life. We're on the planet Earth, and this is natural, that we got some programs during our way while we were here on this planet. So maybe, it would be amazing because I can see people coming. So if you could just say hi, because I have no idea. I know that Magda is here and Paula is here. Amazing women, by the way. If you could just say hi so that I know that who joined, that would be amazing. It's such a shame that on YouTube, after we get disconnected, after the live stream ends, I'm not going to be able to see your comments. They don't save. So, anyway, moving forward. So, every one of us has got some programs, whatever we call them, blockages, limitations, limiting beliefs. This is what is being used in different um, environments. Let's put it this way when it comes to self-development. Briefly, just very briefly, because I know that most of you know it, how it works. Briefly, I'm going to tell you how it happens. So imagine this, that 95% 95% of the decisions that we make, 95, so almost all, come from, let's call it subconscious mind, subconsciousness. So it is something that we make decisions based on some, not on logic, okay, not on logical thinking. It comes from the things that were, like in the computer, that were programmed at certain times in our lives. And just briefly about the programming. Up until the age of 7, our brain was functioning on the waves that are called theta most of the time. So for an adult human being, these are the waves that our brain achieves, gets onto when we meditate, when we fall asleep. So we do experience it at least twice a day, when we go to sleep and wake up. So this is the time when we're very, very subjective to the programming. So this is what we had until we were 7 different sources give different ages. Everything that you heard from your parents, from your surrounding, from your teachers, so all the comparisons, things like, oh, why you didn't get this mark as your friend from classmate, for example. If you heard that you're not good enough at something, oh, you always fail at doing, I don't know, drawing or singing. If you heard, oh, you look terrible in skirts, you should not wear them. This, it seems to be such a small thing, but it gets into the hard drive. So imagine, in our head, to simplify it, we have something like a hard drive. And this is where the information are being stored. Like I said, up until the age of 7, they're like, the brain is like a sponge. It takes everything. But also during our adult life, how the information gets through to us really strong, is especially when there is an emotional burden. There's a different word in English that doesn't come to my head. But when we're emotionally, sorry, I still get distracted. Eva, here from the beginning. Hola, hola, cariño. Wow, amazing. For now, we can, only women said hi. Beautiful, strong women. And you know what? I could write a book about all of you. You're amazing. And the fact that you're being here, it just shows, mira, que fuerte, again, goosebumps. It just shows that you are ready to go into the world with your message. So let's take off the blockages. And today's meeting is about that. how we can get rid. You're too sweet. I'm being honest, Karina. I'm just being honest. Because everybody has some gift. Like when I look at you, ay Dios mío, fuerte. That's why, that's one of the reasons why I do it. That's the main actually reason why I do it. Because now is the time that we take off the shame that we're gonna get into, the uncertainty, throw it outside the window. But I'm gonna try to keep the order so that you can follow me, because I have a tendency of being around the place. So, okay, we during the lifetime we go to certain programs. Now, some of the programs are great. They're very empowering. Uh, they keep us going. But some of them, they keep us away from our dreams. They're distracting us from our mission. And maybe it would be a good idea if you took a pen and paper, just in case some thought comes to you, and you write it down. This is my advice: write it down, because later on you can go back to it. Okay? So, from the beginning, we have some programs, and today we are dealing with those that are not serving. So everything that serves you, which you don't have any problems with, which goes easy, this is wonderful, this is amazing, but we're not talking about that today, okay? There's not much to talk about it. Just go and do whatever serves you, continue doing it. However, if you have some blockages, let's identify those, okay? So first, what we're gonna do, maybe I'm gonna tell you just quickly. I decided to arrange this video today and the following one next week around the technique that I developed, thanks to many of you, thanks to working with you, observing you, and also myself, because I have many blockages. Maybe no, not so many, but because I started observing them, looking at them, and dealing with them. So my suggestion for today, the plan, is that we're gonna do as follows. We're gonna do the scanning. So these are the 4 steps of the technique that I developed, which is called 4S. The S stands for different words. First one is scanning. So we're scanning the system to see what what is in there. Second is selection. We're gonna be choosing these blockages, these limiting beliefs that you don't need anymore. Okay. Then we're gonna move on to substitution and sensation. Substitution and sensation, it's more about creation. So this I'm gonna leave for the next video. Today we're gonna focus on scanning and selection. So let's start, amores. We're gonna start from a very standard tool. However, we're gonna upgrade it a little with something not very standard, and that it's not strictly from coaching. Okay, so doing the regular coaching qualification, I didn't come across these solutions. So we're starting from the standard one. I want you to draw a circle and divide into 4 quadrants. So like this. Okay? Now, In the first one, this is called Wheel of Life. And there is many, if you Google Wheel of Life, this is like a standard basic coaching technique. You're gonna find many information about that. There are different divisions into 6 segments, into 8 segments. So if that's not gonna resonate with you, after the live stream, go and check what other wheels of life, what you can come across. But now that we have it, I reckon I like the KISS method, which is keep it short and simple. So I like to divide it in 4. Put in the first one money and career. In the second one, we're gonna put passion. Then we're gonna put family and friends. So in general, relationships. And in the last one, health, well-being. When you do this, of course, everything is interrelated. Because, for example, when we split up with somebody who's really important for us, we break up with our, let's say, boyfriend, girlfriend, we get divorced. Of course, I can tell you my example. When I was getting divorced, 4 years ago, yes, my health was being affected. Because in the end, we're one system, okay? So it will all be connected. However, to move forward, it's easier when we sort of group the things, okay? So we have, I'm going to repeat, money and career. Then we have passion. And this is a division like that for a reason. Then we have family and friends. You can also put here intimate relationships. And last, it's health and well-being. Sometimes I pronounce it very unclearly. So, please let me know if this is clear. So any thumbs up or down? You're being very quiet. Okay, so you're probably doing your thing. Let's just put it this way. If something is not clear, ask me, okay? Because this is the beauty of that. Like water. Amor. Muy bien. So now that we have it. Muy bien, gracias. Now that we have it, think about from your logical mind, okay? Because what's inside, it's outside too. Which area of your life is not so great at the moment? Just mark it. You can put one of the things that I use sometimes at the sessions is giving the scale. So from 1 to 5, which 1 is very poor and 5 is great, you can give yourself a number here. So for example, money and career, that's, I don't know, 4. Passion, that's 3. Family and friends, that's 5. This is for you to notice where you would like to concentrate with your with taking taking off the blockages. Okay, I'm gonna give you a moment to think about that. Don't try to overthink. Okay, the first number that comes to your head, boom. So 1 very bad, 5 excellent. And if you have fives in uh, every single space quarter, you don't have to watch me anymore because it means you're great with your life and no need to change anything. You just continuing doing what you do. But if there is anything lower than 5 in any of these quarters, this is where you may put your attention. Only 1 5 here. But it's great, sweetheart, that you have 5 in at least one. There is many people. I've got clients who do not have any 5s. So that's when there is more work to do. However, what do we say? No pasa nada. Exactly. Because passion, oh, my heart grows. Because, mira, que fuerte, goosebumps again. Because it's huge. It's huge. Sweetheart, the fact that you have 5 on passion, it's a very, very good sign. Later on, we will get to that. Passion, and if you do the thing from this sphere of the heart, it will have impact on other things. Okay? Vale, let's move on. However, to do that, we need to allow to take other blockages, okay? Once you have this done, put it aside and let's move on to another thing, which is just one sentence before we move on. Your emotions that you have impact the thoughts. It's like vicious circle, thoughts and emotions. One triggers the other. Just remember that it is not an integral part of you. No. It is something that you are empowered to change. That's why I love to say no pasa nada, because this is just the state for now. Once you're ready, which we will move on to, you're going to be able to change that. Okay? So remember, your thoughts, your emotions do not make you. They do impact you, but on this level that it's that we are empowered to change. So speaking about emotions, there was this guy, I should say, gentleman, David Hawkins. He was a clinical psychiatrist. So a person who devoted his life to studying emotions and how they impact us. And he came up, so this is a tool not from standard coaching. Some people call it, like on academia, this is not something that you're going to come across. And can you believe that one of my blockages was when I was recording videos, not talking about live streaming, one of my blockages was not talking about things like this only because I was scared of judgment. Mm-hmm. I had fear that somebody, like, I have different friends, on my Instagram, on Facebook, some people who were who employed me or who I was qualified by. in academia. So at the back of my head, I was thinking, if only the people that I know were watching me, or not those superior to me, when it comes to academia, then I would speak up and I would say about what I know. Now, as you can see, this changed. So anybody who only sticks to standard academia, will probably will not feel good here. Pero bueno, this is life. So you can see now, I can see it in front, not knowing who's gonna watch it. Now, with my whole heart, I can say, I don't care. Beautiful feeling. I don't care, not because of being so proud, but because the message and supporting you to take off your limitations is stronger. So my mission in life is stronger. But you can see that the road to this, to achieve it, was long. What can I say? Only now I got public about it. So, Dr. David Hawkins, who was a doctor, by the way, David Hawkins, he came up with something like, let me just put here, something like the scale of emotions. At the top of the scale, there is, who's gonna guess? What are the emotions that are empowering, thanks to which we can grow, we can bloom like flowers? Anybody in the comments? Let me show you. I hope you're gonna see. It's a mirror reflection. Joy, love. This is at the top. And everything that's passion again. Yes. All that, when you do your passion, I know what you do, Eva, sweetheart. So, but when you, Eva, by the way, draws beautifully. She's very talented, and I'm waiting for her jumpers to be released. All right. So, when you draw, sweetheart, or when you play, what are the emotions that you feel? The state of flow, right? Relaxation, joy, blissfulness. This is at the top. At the bottom, on the other hand, we have things that such as shame and fear. David Hawkins, I'm repeating this, so maybe you want to do your research about this gentleman. I recommend. He said that once we experience these, so the upper scale, this is when we actually achieve so-called happiness. This is when we actually are able to use our potential. On the other hand, when we in between, there's like anger, frustration, lower down here, which again itself, nothing is good or bad. These, shame and fear, these are the emotions that close us. Look at your body. When you're scared, we get like closed physically, right? The same happens to us mentally. When it comes to our head, heart, it closes up. In this state, we're not able to create, um, um, to be simply happy, to fulfill our mission. We're not going to be even probably able to see this mission. So now I want you to also, and also think about it afterwards, okay? Because one thing is, during this life is one thing. Notice what's coming to you and make a note somewhere, but also give yourself some time to come back to it, okay? Now, have a moment to think, what do you feel when it comes to different quarters of life? Like we said, what feelings do you are the prevalent, that's the word? Which feelings do you happen to have most when it comes to money and career, when it comes to passion? So when you think about your when you do the passion, or when you think about it, maybe some of you will not have it. Oh, and you all know each other. Maybe not every one of you, but there is a beautiful group here, Besitos. At the end, I'm gonna recommend another wise woman with something that I'm gonna send you to her podcast, but this will be at the end. Very beautiful, amazing people here. So look at each quarter and ask yourself what kind of emotions, what kind of emotions you are experiencing most of the time in these areas. Again, you don't have to answer now, but this is for you to remember. I love you all. I can see hearts and palm trees. Amazing. It feels like in Marbella, no? Okay, today, we're already almost 40 minutes into the live, so is that clear? And I didn't finish the thought. In the quadrant, in the quarter where you have most of fear and shame, Barcelona, in this quarter where you have scusi, most of shame or fear, this is where most of your blockages is hidden. Okay, so to wrap it up, because we're at the stage 1 of scanning your system. These two exercises give you direction of where you want to go, where you want to search. I don't have emotions towards money and career. The emotion will be undecision, insecure. If that's in emotional, yes, exactly. Because I'm only showing you the extremes, but hesitation, it's also an emotion, right? Undecisiveness. So only when you can say, oh, I'm 100% done and I have 5 here, that's when you don't have any blockages. But if there is some hesitation, there is something behind it. Okay, muy bien. So like I told you, between joy and love and shame and fear, there is plenty of other emotions in here, right? And it's good. So the negative even emotions, they're only messengers. Like, hey, Nana, mírame, por favor, okay? Because look at me, because there is something that I'm trying to communicate to you. So it absolutely doesn't make you a bad person or a failure or no. Okay? You can see I came over my blockage too, and that's why I'm recording this. That's why I'm here with you, because I also had this emotion. For me, for example, it was fear of being judged, which was not nice, no, because it's una mierda. It's very. I could even feel this in my body. Um, what else? Okay, I want to say so many things at the same time. Pero, so do you have any questions when it comes to this? Also, if you want to investigate more, Google in David Hawkins' scale of emotions, and you're gonna read all the emotions there. But we're moving on, okay? Hey, so we did the scanning. Now we're moving on to selection. So until now, we're only noticing what kind of emotions are prevailing and what kind of thoughts, right, are prevailing. Hawking? Ay, Dios mío. I can't remember the spelling, but I think isn't Hawkins? I think it's spelled after the life ends, because there's no point if I type it now. Okay, I will type it at the end. I think this is the spelling, but I'm gonna double check, okay? After the live stream ends, we're gonna lose all the comments. So after it finishes, I'm gonna double check on the internet the exact spelling of the name, and will leave you as a comment after the live stream ends. I'm repeating myself. Okay, with you. So let's go on. Let's move on to selection. Selection is so this is exactly what part of what we already done with scanning. We in the scanning part, we're just saying, okay, in this sphere of life, I experience boom, boom, boom. In this sphere of life, I experience boom, boom, boom. Now, in the selection, as the name suggests, we're selecting the things that we no longer need. And here, before I forget, I'm going to tell you now that I recorded guided meditation. You're going to find it on YouTube on this channel. In the, when you have the sections, how do you call the section? Playlist. Playlist, podcast Thriving Life. And also on Spotify. The podcast is there. Number 5. This guided meditation will help you see what you store in the body, because sometimes it's not so easy. You're very welcome, Inanna. Because it's sometimes it's not easy to notice from your rational mind, observe it, like we're talking right now. That's why I like to work on a few levels, the body as well. For example, for me, as you can see, if something resonates with me, I get goosebumps straight away. So for me, it's really good exercise. It's also actually this meditation, the guided meditation. I think it's episode number 5. It also bases on the knowledge of Hawkins. I'm gonna call him Hawkins, okay? It's the technique of releasing the fear, where you actually in this theta state or deep alpha. So in the state of meditation, when you're relaxed, when you bring up different fears, you kind of notice it's easier to notice them if you store them in your system. So I recommend it. Um, but it's not the body that I wanted to start with. These are the three questions, and I want you to write them down. So these are the questions about control. Because what happens very often, we get blocked, we cannot move forward if we focus our attention on the wrong things. And by wrong things, I mean the things that are outside our control. For example, if I want to, maybe let me give you the questions first. So the first one is, what don't I control here? So, what, in other words, what are the things that are outside my control in this situation, in this with this challenge, in this piece of your life? Second question will be, what am I controlling here? What are the things that I'm in power to control? And the third one, what could I control that I am not controlling here? So, for example, I'm going to speak on my example because this is something, if we only talk about theory, we're not going to go too far, right? With me, with my blockage, um, so I didn't want to share the knowledge with you. Like, I wanted to stick to only academia because I was scared what my colleagues will think about me. Now, the question is it something that I can control? Somebody's thoughts about me, is it something that I should waste my energy to control? It took me a while to say, no, no, no. If somebody will think, Sylvia's crazy, because she's not using only the coaching tools that are presented by academia. I'm going to call it like that, okay? So, official sources that are approved. And this is how my life looked like. I always valued certificates. I always had good marks. And I graduated from the second degree that I was doing in London was with merit. Even the coaching qualification I achieved the first in the whole group. And I wasn't planning on doing this, but look what came. It took a while, but it finally came over. So this is my coaching certificate. So the qualification that I did a while ago, but now the official certificate arrived. So thank you, Shona, if you hear me. Are you with me? You're fucking genius. I love you, you too. Tú sabes que tú también, amor. Gracias. But you see, on the one thing, it was something that was very important to me. But at the same time, this academia world was something that was blocking me. Well, let me rephrase it. It wasn't the academia that was blocking me, because thanks to that, I know different amazing tools that I use, that I share with you. But I was blocking myself because of my fear of being judged. So, uh, is this professor who's so recognized, what he's gonna think about me? And now, like we said, is it something that I can control? Who says what about me? Now, I I grew to this that no, I'm not gonna be able to control somebody's thoughts about me. And I know that we talked in we talked in conversations, private and with clients, very very often. Us all, we amazing people, we amazing. I can see Miss Nenas aqui, women, but also men. No division here, okay? We stop our gifts. We hold them, we have them in the drawer because we're scared of being judged. We are ashamed. Shame is the who should be thrown away, okay? So think about again, what don't I control here? So what's outside my control? What am I controlling here? And what could I control that I am not controlling? These are the five. I'm great in maths, no? These are the three questions that will help you to focus your attention on the things that you're in power to do. So, again, coming back to my example, I cannot have impact if one of my colleagues is not going to say, Sevilla is loca. Like, or, do you know what? I'm not going to follow you. I'm not going to listen to you because you're doing things outside the box. And I'm not really liking this approach. We have something like free will. And we spoke about it at the last live. And this applies to us and to other people around. Let's not focus, amores, let's not focus on the things that what other people will talk about, will think about, or say to us. Because also, sometimes people say things out of viciousness because they are not so well right now in their life. That's one reason. And also, they have their blockages, okay? And they they simply are sometimes not even conscious about them. So they think that they give you good advice, no, about advice. They are convinced that they're giving you a good advice, but in the end, they're not knowing that they have a blockage. For example, they tell you, your friends tell you what to do when it comes to your boyfriend, whether you should split up or get back together. Let's remember that the advice will be dependent upon what that person has gone through, okay? What filters they have. Because, like we said in the last video, if they were dumped by a boyfriend, their husband cheated, right, on, uh, their approach, their attitude towards men will be completely different, and the advice will be different to what you're gonna get from a person who's in a happy relationship. Okay? So just know that everything that people tell you about them, about you too, it's really about them. It's really based on their experience and their blockages. Because, for example, so that you, I make sure that you understand that you're with me. If somebody asks me, Sylvia, what do you think about sharing knowledge, like, outside academia? Dr. Hawkins, for example, what do you think about it? Should I do it publicly? I would say, it depends who's listening, at what event, blah, blah. That would say the same Sylvia, who now says that go and share your knowledge, and no pasa nada if you change your mind, and if you, as you're curious, you're gonna be developing all the time, so you will probably change your mind in many ways, and muy bien, that means that you're developing. That's why I don't take any advice from anybody unless it's you darling. Oh, Amor, you know that I'm when it comes to advice, and likewise, sweetheart. The thing is that your true friends, right, will hardly ever give you a solid advice. They would, mira, ¿qué pasa? Again, can you see goosebumps? Que fuerte. Your true friends, and people who are at the high level of consciousness, okay? Mostly they will not tell you what to do. They will be by your side no matter what. They will only ask you questions. They will only, of course, sometimes if evidently we're being a victim, if, for example, if our partner is beating us up or abuses mentally, yes, a true friend should say, hey, Nana, don't you think that there's something wrong here? Don't you feel some kind of um, bad in this relationship? Again, you see, it's not advice. He's asking questions. But yes, sometimes advice is good, right? Please let me know, Kira. Jak to pisać po angielsku, ale to, że jesteś przyjacielem, to jedno, ale świadomość najważniejsza. Yes, exactly. Like like Paula said, to be a friend is one thing, okay? So you will have, I'm sure you have some friends in your life, and they may have good intentions towards you, but if their consciousness is not on a high level, so if they are simple, if they're not very conscious people, no offense, okay? We're not saying this to offend anybody, no. It's just simple stating of facts. If somebody doesn't know themselves, I wouldn't take their advice. Even though, of course, yes, you can have a thought about it, but always check how you feel. No matter what authority tells you, you are most important, because nobody has been through what you've been through. Nobody is in your shoes, okay? So even me, even I wouldn't take my advice. Like I don't like giving advice, and I don't do that. Sometimes when I'm asked, I say what I would do in a given situation. Like, for example, when it comes to kids, or anyway. But let's remember, I will not understand fully you. That's why I became coach, because I prefer to ask you questions that will provoke your self observation, learning about you. My advice may not be good for you, because I may not, like, for example, I will not understand. I can understand, but I will not feel what a person who's physically abused, who's beaten up by the partner, Mm, I wouldn't know how it feels because I was never in such a relationship, right? Piękne to się skarbi. Oh, thank you, sweetheart, that you reminded me. You see, oh, that's why we have friends for. We support each other. I feel so. I do this gesture is so silly. I look silly, but it's something that I cannot stop myself from doing. I'm modest. Yes. So we talked about two spheres, right? Sorry, two stages: scanning and selection. So at the selection point, we're selecting the things that are not serving. We're selecting the emotions which are from this scale. Even if it's anger, even if it's anger, don't deny it. I think that the world uh, gotta be crazy because if you ask somebody, how are you? Oh, I'm excellent. And if you answer, oh, I'm not that great, I actually feel angry. Uh, and we should not deny it because if we deny it, it's your messenger, it's coming to you to tell you something, and you say something very important message, and you say, no, I can't hear anything. I can't hear the knocking. No, I'm not angry. No, no, no. I'm happy. No. Every bad, so called bad emotion is just a messenger, okay? And either we're deaf or we open up to this. Vale. Let me have a look. Mm, yes, so like I told you, to wrap it up, in this stage of selection, we're asking 3 questions that I'm gonna put below this video once it's finished, okay? Because otherwise we're gonna lose it. The same as how concerning. ¿Qué más? And we look at each, so we ask these 3 questions and we answer what kind of emotions are prevailing in each sphere of life. ¿Vale? Y ya está. If this is not working for you, so if you say, Sylvia, I still don't, it's hard for me to name these emotions. One exercise para ti. So as you can see, it's all about observation, right? Observe your thoughts. How to do it? Again, many people say, Sylvia, but I really don't know what thoughts I'm having. There is a wonderful and simple exercise for this too. You talk to yourself. Like literally. You talk, whatever you are doing, you talk about it. So for example, I like to talk about me because that's how it's real. So let's say now I'm going to I want to eat something, and then I want to work with my clients. I have a session and I want to prepare for this session. Excuse me. And I have to go to the shop to get some, no sé qué, to get something from the shop. Or I have to speak to the accountant. Yes, that's a good example. Everything, and these are 2 words I want you to pay attention to. When you say, I must, I have to, this will probably too much have to. Exactly. When there's too many have tos, I have to, I must, then it means that this is something that is probably your mm, blockage. So with the accountant, some things we will have to do simple, right? I may not feel like going to the shop, but I need to have food. But if you say have to when it comes to your work, or meeting somebody, or even doing some houseworks, um, ask yourself what would have to happen for me to change have to or must into I want to. Can you hear that the difference? It's so tiny, but when we say I want to, it's a completely different uh, story. When we say I want to, it means it's an integral so-called good part of us. So if I say I have to go to work, it means that there is something wrong about this work, or maybe my relationship with this work. It may be that I'm doing a wrong thing. It may be that I need to, I should think about um, going and speaking about the pay rise, or changing the position in a company. Or maybe if you're a sole trader, uh, you want to change the services, adjust them. Remember that the changes do not have to be huge and like drastic. Okay, they don't have to be. Sometimes sometimes these are mm, little things that should be adjusted or could be adjusted for you to have a completely different approach and attitude towards them. So when you talk to yourself, you're going to be hearing your thoughts, okay? And what attitude you have towards them. Vale? Is that clear? If it's clear, then Dime, let me know. If not, as well, yes. Okay, wonderful. At any point, if something's not clear, amores, either you write it now, muy bien, muy bien, write it down, or you can always drop me a message or comment on this video afterwards. Okay. So this will be another tool for you to observe what thoughts you're having, so that you can select the things that you want to change. Okay? In next week, we're gonna talk about the creation, because, like we said, right, in this time, we said that, especially until the 21st, because of the stars, because of the numerology, and because we live in times of huge changes, which is not bad, because the old system of our values, of our rat race, of this can now be changed. And the fact that you're here, it means that you are ready. So at the last week, we were talking about free will. And the video is already on YouTube if you want to listen again. Today, we're talking about limitations, limiting beliefs, the programs, and how to overcome these, right? So by noticing, recognizing, right? And the element of continuation will be at the next video. That's when we're going to talk about creation. Because I don't want to say in numbers the percentage, but huge percentage of the success in achieving what you want, what your heart really wants, improving the quality of your life. Huge, massive step is the ability of self observation, um, which I'm gonna come back to in a moment. So at the next video, we're gonna focus on substitution, which is the third step in the 4S technique, and sensation, which is the fourth. Okay, there is just one condition. I don't think it applies to you who are here because I know you. I can see the questions. I can see that you show up because you've been here with me for 1 hour already. So it means you care about you. Okay? And it doesn't matter, just to remind you, no gurus here. It doesn't have to be with me. Okay? Be with around somebody who resonates with you, with who you resonate. Without attachment, because at one point this will be maybe one person, at a different point it will be another person. Let's remember, like I said in the last video, and I'm going to repeat this in every single video, it's not one star show. We're now in the times, mira, again goosebumps, when we can and are able to create the collective, which means that every one of us has got some gift, and the power is in us being independent and free. And the freedom is one of the most important values to me. That's why I don't have any gurus, and I would never like to be a guru to anybody. No, because it means that somebody's attached. It means that it's like with a child. We don't want to do the kid's laces, right? Every time she puts on the shoes. We want to give people we care about the tools. How? So that they can cope in life on their own. That's how they're going to be independent. I know that it's not wise when it comes to marketing because, but you know what? Fuck marketing. I believe that these are the times that we should not look at the old school ways of thinking and what is expected of us. If somebody says, don't leave me, and especially if I hear it from the coaches, and this is what I wrote, what I read the other day from a coach who has lots of followings. Of course, I'm not gonna say the name of this person, but por favor, I mean, how can you ask people to stick with you and never leave you? I would say this is not ethical. And that's why I encourage you to do the same. Be somebody's light. Be this ray of sunshine, of light who comes in, and so that this person can feel the value of their value. That's how we create a better world, when we're independent and free. By the way, we're all human beings, so every guru can get cuckoo, okay? Can die, can no sé, can say something that it's not really of value, okay? So let's not be sheep who go blindly because of a name, because of authority. No. Let's be our own leaders, and let's just inspire people to be better version of themselves, okay? So this is what you're gonna find here in my space. No attachment. I don't expect you to always stick to me. No, amores. If you don't have any more things to work on. If you have 5 on every single punta key, we can stay friends, but you don't need my support as a coach, okay? So, and I don't want you to of course I am going to be with you until you need me. Some people will need me for a moment, and this is how what I have with my clients. Some come for one session, some have 12 sessions. I think this was the maximum, 12 sessions, because everybody's different. And it's not about me leaving somebody halfway. Oh, it's enough now. No, it's not up to me to decide. But do you get the message? It's not about being guru, okay? The freedom and decision making is in you. We're just looking for that. Aki. Danny, I have to go now. Okay, it's been super useful. I wish you later. I will finish to say, okay, thanks for being here, Amor. We're also about to finish because it's already an hour and 15 minutes, which I'm going to trim a little. Gracias for being here, sweetheart, and gracias for investing time and energy in you, Amor. Okay, so for today, that will be it. Okay? Again, this funny face. What I want to say at the end. So next time we're talking about substitution, how we can actually substitute the blocking patterns and boost creation, encourage, let this creation into our lives and hearts and sensation. And what I want to also recommend are two things now. We don't only, these things that we're talking about, these are conventional methods. Maybe Hawkins is not that conventional. But you can make the observation on different levels, and there are different techniques. Some of them I don't do, I don't deliver, but I use other people's support. And this week, hopefully tomorrow, if not, that's gonna be Wednesday, I'm gonna release the episode with somebody who helps us and using a different method. Okay, so it's going to be a therapist who works with the mind and emotional blockages, also through the body. Not necessarily being in this room. Zofia, yes, Zofia, exactly. But I don't want to tell you too much, okay? Let that be a surprise for you. We recorded this podcast with Zofia sometime in summer. But I wasn't ready to, I only edited it recently. And it's amazing because Zofia is now getting, I love her too. Yes, so Zofia, big hugs and kisses to you. Zofia is not here with us, I don't think so. But I'm sure she's going to watch that later. Or I hope. Or maybe not. But yes, you're going to hear Zofia at the podcast, which will be published on Anchor, Spotify, and I think 6 other platforms, which I can't remember now, on tomorrow or Wednesday. And so that's when we're going to talk about do you want to know now the name of the therapy? Okay, let me tell you. Craniosacral therapy. Okay, this is what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to be a guinea pig. Well, I really use Zofia's support, but we're sharing. I couldn't keep my mouth shut. But during this podcast, I'm also sharing my experience. with you on how this process like for me. Vale. Amores, last but not least, what I wanted to tell you that also I encourage you to watch the first 2 episodes, actually second and third episode of my podcast, because I talk there about emotions and thoughts. So this is something that you may also find useful. Every single podcast I upload here on YouTube, so you have everything in one place. But also for those of you who like Spotify, you can find me there. 2 more things that I would like to say. One recommendation. Another one. There are people who help you raise your consciousness on in different ways. So if you speak Polish and if you like the music, I highly, 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 highly recommend my beautiful friend, very valuable person. I will give you her nickname, and I encourage you to find her podcast on Spotify. She speaks Polish, okay, on the podcasts, but she also composes her own music, the songs that soon, will be huge hits on the radio. And I have no doubt about it because her song, I'm not going to tell you now, you're going to go into Spotify or Anchor and look for her podcast. This is called Kyra, Kyra Zone. I'm going to spell that for you. It's Keira Zone. Okay? Amazing woman with huge knowledge and beautiful talent, amazing sense of music. So stay tuned and visit that in the first episode. So she launched the podcast recently, and there's one episode at the end of which she sings a bit of her song, which I love. It has very simple but very profound lyrics. So if you're feeling down or low on energy, I encourage you to go. But songs are in English, exactly. The songs are in English. So if you don't speak Polish, you can skip the talking part and go to the song, okay? I'm red now. Yes, Paula is here. That's her. So again, let me spell that for you. Kyra, which is Keira, Kyra Zone, Zona. Okay? Highly recommend. Entonces, so guys, amores, if there's anything you want to ask me right now, please do so. If not, we will slowly be saying goodbye. And hasta la próxima, until the next Monday. This is when we're gonna, check out the spelling of Kyra podcast. Thank you, my love, because it's very important that we recognize people's beauty and we remind them what talents they have. Sometimes they may not realizing that. Sometimes they need a bit of your encouragement too. I had that. Everyone, I think, has it. So don't be frugal when it comes to complimenting the people that you admire in some way, okay? And I'm definitely recommending Kyra for her beautiful message that she puts with music. Vale, amores. I'm just looking if I said everything. Yes, the next, I think I did. Do you have any questions at this stage? Remember, you can always throw me a message uh, later on. Such a shame that these comments are not being saved. Um, yes, and what I wanted to tell you that next Monday that we're meeting is going to be very strong. Um, the question the first one that I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to leave you with that. This is how you're going to check if you're ready to really. Oh, gracias, amor. What about meditation? Yes, so meditation you'll find in my Thriving Life on YouTube or Spotify. I think it's episode number 5, the meditation that was already there. Okay? ¿Qué más? Last but not least, if you're stuck in any way, please, this is the time that you stand up for yourself. So ask for support. If you feel that you need this individual support, find a psychologist, psychiatrist, coach, anybody who will give you individual support too, if this is what you need. If not, we have so many resources right now. I'm recording this for you. So, but if you still need some support, go and ask for help because the time is now. Okay? Oh, I don't have to say how grateful I am that you are doing an amazing work, and thank you. You know how I can tell that everyone who was here, how I can say that you're going to achieve success? Because you're determined. Everybody who listened to this recording until the last moment, apart from Eva, who had to go, who's going to finish later on, this is how I can tell. Those of you, and this is the topic of our last, of the next life, answer yourself this question. Are you ready to take the radical, extreme ownership over your life? This is my question for you, but I think you are. Seeing how you invest your time in you, being here, I can see that you are. Amores, time to say adios for now. And thank you that you invest time in you. Thank you. And it's my honor that I can be your companion on this way. Mira, goosebumps again. You cannot, you cannot cheat, no? You can see everything in the body. Vale, me voy, and let's meet on live next Monday on the 21st of December. Ciao. Thank you so much.